thank you all for coming and joining us. And as soon as that loads over to YouTube, it's working on it. Then I am so excited to introduce our special sponsor guest, our Platinum Summit host, sponsor. I'm sorry, I'm the host, and Marcy is our Platinum sponsor for the summit. Marcy is the creative mind, the creative vision behind Bad Shape Yarn, and some of my favorite yarns that I've worked with. And I was so excited when I reached out to Britt, who helps organize behind the scenes, and she said you guys wanted to talk to me, and I had a fangirl moment. And yeah, so you may know Marcy from, she does live streams in her Facebook group all of the time, and pairings of different colors, which I know is so helpful as a knitter, because we sometimes we think we know what goes well together, and it's so nice to have that expert creative eye who's looking at the real skeins in person and can say these are a great match. You'll love these together. And she calls those pairings. And I'm going to stop talking now and let Marcy tell you a little bit about who she is and what she does.
Well, hello everyone and welcome. As Jessica said, I'm Marcy and I run Bad Sheep Yarn. We're a hand-dyed yarn studio. We started from our home in Fairbanks, Alaska, and then 2 years ago we relocated to Pensacola, Florida because shipping's easier and we were tired of winter. So, um, so we've been doing that. This year was our 10th year, and yeah, every day has been a new adventure, and I love sharing what I make with everyone, and I love being just a little bit of everyone's beautiful projects that they do. So. I see everyone. Anita says hi, Marcy, and all the people doing call outs about where they are and where they're from. I love that. We have our lives on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Someone, they're always on Thursday nights, and someone from here was on last night, and they said hello, so that was cool. And it's just fun. It's fun. I love doing these live events because it's just another way to make friends and to share this craft that we all love and love to do together. And yeah, it's broadened my world. So, welcome. The end. Just kidding. Today we'll do some pairings today. Behind me, I'm in my what I call the yarn closet. This is my walk-in closet that we transformed into our room that we do our lives from. I have something just about, you can see just about everything that I have here on our website, badsheepyarn.com. And so, kind of what we do with our pairings on our lives is I go through and I read comments that people put in. Feel free to. I love so much that we're on a Zoom call and I can hear people. Usually I don't have that luxury. So I love that I can see faces and hear voices. That's really cool. And if you know something that you want to see, uh, go ahead and say it, and I will hold it up if I have it. And that way we can see what stuff looks like together. There's always a level of inspiration and something really neat. And I think it's fun to just hold stuff together and kind of have that little part of your brain scratched that likes color and likes to have fun. So I see someone wanted to see Holly Jolly or sorry, I've been calling it Holly Jolly. We have this new limited yarn out and it's called Holly Berry. It's limited on our website. Someone is familiar, they did hashtag pairings. Um, it's Holly Berry, it's limited on our website. And in our dye studio, we have a wonderful dye team and a shipping crew and everything else. But on our dye team, they call it Halle Berry. And then I keep accidentally calling it Holly Jolly. We have our names all mixed up, but it's Holly Berry. So Holly Berry with ruby or pink topaz is a beautiful one. Um, and hi from Seattle. Hello, and everyone's in there. Someone says that their oldest lives in Seattle. They're in Dales, Oregon. I hope I said that right. And yes, and Jessica put in there's a 10% off coupon code for you guys at the Knit Happy Summit if you want to. It's a coupon code, it's in the chat. It's Knit Happy BSY. So it's Whitney says my friend's drag name is Holly Berry. There you double dipping on the lives this week. Hi, Kyra. Hi Marcy, Lisa Williams here. I'm really struggling to find a 5-color fade with Bay Breeze. Can you help? Yes. This is so much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around. I'll try and speak into the mic. Being in Florida, do you carry cooler plant bases? We have a one. Take this with me. We have a 100% mulberry silk right now. I'm working on this is the little secret. I'm getting it in DK as well. Right now, we just have it in a fingering weight. That's as much as we have with plant bases. And with working in things for cooler weather, just because the dye process is so extremely different, and the dyes that we would have to use are different. So I know Kyra says, exciting it is. All right, I've got to focus. All right, hollyberry, ruby, or pink topaz. And so the ruby and pink topaz are some of our birthstone colorways. We've been doing that this year. It's been really fun. And I've been apologetic about how many people I've surprised with the colorways because they don't know what it is until we come out. But this is hollyberry and then pink topaz, which is our November birthstone, and that's ruby, which is the July birthstone. Uh, do you sell mini skeins to pair with socket? Yes. So we do sell mini skeins on some products. We don't have them yet just because we've been around for a while and we keep a lot of colorways online for you to order, and you can order sweater quantities. I can tell you why I started doing it like that in the beginning, but it was mostly because when we were in Alaska, a lot of the dyers that do drops with their colorways, I could never make the times because I had small kids, and the time difference is so extreme. So a lot of times their drops were at like 2 in the morning my time. And I was like, I'm in bed and I have babies, so I'm not making that. So when we started our own yarn dyeing company, we wanted to make things that were consistent and there, and you can always get a sweater quantity or how much you needed and not have the adrenaline shopping quite so much. So we've tried to stick to that model as best we can. Um, those three look great as a watermelon set. Ooh, that would be fun. All right. I'm looking. I saw there was one more. The 5-color fade with Bay Breeze. Those were Christmas season colors. Okay, so Bay Breeze was part of our Beach Read set. And a 5-color fade with it. I would use one of them would be Incandescently Happy. And then I'm gonna go into the bright side of the fade. I'm picking Hibiscus Sorbet for my darkest color. And then I'm gonna get one of our other ones, Strawberry Waffle Cone. And I'm gonna put that in between there, so it's just a shade darker. And then I'm gonna get one more color in between there. I'm thinking we have one that's called Shortcake. And some of my bright colors are down on the floor, so every time I have to lean over, it's like, oh. Uh, it's a process. But here it is with strawberry shortcake. And so you'll have, there we go. I'm trying to hold it all up here for you. There we go. So you have over here hibiscus sorbet, strawberry shortcake, Bay Breeze, and Incandescently Happy. Another thing you can do if you don't want to lean into the yellows quite so much is you could try a Wildflower Patch, and you can kind of stick with the pinks. Do you carry Kiviat yarn? Not sure. I do not carry Kiviat. You have to be I think you have to, I think you have to be in the know to have Kiviat yarn. But where I'm from, they used to have it in the yarn shop all the time. And at one point they said, "Do you want to dye it?" And I was like, I'm not prepared for that. That was very, very early on in my yarn dyeing career. It's very, very luxurious wool. And I was like, I don't want that responsibility. Oh, good. Perfect. I like it with the yellow. I'm so glad you like that, Lisa. I like the yellow too. That is such a beautiful fade. Will you put a picture of that in the Facebook group and let us know what the colors were?
I
Um,
a screenshot, but you have to just tell me the colors later.
oh, okay. I can tell ya. The yellow made it pop. Oh, good. And I'm also, Jessica, just going to take a quick photo really quick so that I don't forget what the colors are. And I'm like, wait, what was I doing? So I'm just going to bloop. If you see something that you're like, oh, I really liked that, then we can. Can you do more of the yellow and stay away with the pinks? Yes. I can try. All right. Yellow is one of the colors where it's interesting because some people really love it. I'm one of those people, and some people it's just not their favorite, which is totally fine. All right, so I'm switching to some brighter colors. I have uh lemon meringue. I'm still keeping incandescently happy, and then I have orange Julius in over here. So you can probably, I would move these around just a little bit. Any teals, Sue? Yes, I do have teals. And then I'm trying to think of one more yellow that you can do. We have some that are pretty heavy in the gold department, but I think you kind of stray away from that color tone, that beachy color tone. Um, all right. What are general sweater quantities? I've never made a sweater yet, so I'm always unsure about quantities to order that actually goes for almost anything. So, Aaron, I'll let you know. There's a really easy way to figure out how much you need for quantities, especially for sweaters. In most, especially on Ravelry and most patterns before you buy them, they'll have sizes on there, and usually it will be your bust size or something like that. And then, so you just kind of measure yourself for a sweater specifically, and then it will have if your whatever your measurement is, it will kind of have a very similar side like yarn requirements underneath that. And so you just find kind of that same number up there. Does that make sense? I'm the same area, so it'll like small, medium, large, and then they'll have the yardage for small, medium, large. And then what you do is you get the yarn that you want. And so let's say you're using worsted. Our worsted is 218 yards. And let's say you have a pattern where it needs 1,250 yards. You would go 1,250 divided by 218. And what that number is a kind of a rough estimate of what you need. That might vary depending on your gauge or if you're making any changes. So I always say, especially with hand-dyed yarn, just get one extra just to be safe, especially with hand-dyed yarn, because a lot of hand dyers, they will make a run of things and then it's really hard to recreate what they had made. So always I'd rather be safe than sorry. If you can get it in that one go. But that's kind of how you do that, even when it comes to hats or shawls, anything like that. It will have a yardage requirement on there. And so you look at that yardage requirement and you kind of figure out what size you want. And then you do that very simple math where you take their yardage requirement, the yardage of the yarn that you have, you divide those two, and what you get is kind of what you need. Almost always it's like four and some change. And so then you would get five. If that's how I do it. Um, if someone is on here saying no, I am sorry. I always, anytime I like spit off information online, it's like, this is the internet. It's here forever. So please, I hope I'm right. Just-
That's as a designer, I agree with that.
oh, good.
The way you want to look for your size, you want
Yes.
make sure you're looking at whether the size is described as finished bust measurement or finished measurement, or if it's the body measurement. So if it's the body, then you have to figure out how much ease, how much bigger you want. And we have a whole session on explaining what ease is by Lisa. So if you don't know what that is, go watch that session, and then order your yarn. And yeah, so the designers should give you the amount of yardage for the yarn that they used. And so you want to try and find a yarn that is as close in characteristics like the weight, the gauge, all of that. And we have a session on substituting yarn as well. So we've got you covered on both sides of that. And yeah, you divide the total yardage for the size you want to make by the amount of yardage in the skein of the yarn that you want to buy, and then
Yes.
one extra.
Yeah. Always just in case, you know?
Yeah, if you want to make the sleeves longer, if you want to make
Mhm.
the body longer, if you want to make any adjustments, and if you have an extra skein, you can use it to make a hat or something else.
Perfect. Yes. I always get an extra skein or end up using more just because I always like a boxier fit and I have a long torso and albatross arms. So I look at the requirements and I almost always end up needing more. So I'm always like, take that if you need to, just in case. It's always good to have an extra.
Joe was asking if you would describe the dye process and show some purple, and then we have
Ooh.
birth month colorways requests also.
Yay. So right now, the only birth month that we don't have out right now is Diamond, or not Diamond. I saw someone asking for April's birthstone, I think, or was it March? March is Aquamarine, April is Diamond. Those are out. The only ones we don't have out right now is December. It will be released on December 1st. So that's what we've been doing is we've been releasing a birthstone every December, and next year we'll do another theme and that will be fun. And someone had asked about teals as well. I do have lots of teals right now. Um, and I'll look at purples too, and I will explain the dye process. I love talking about that. So these are some of the teals that we have. They kind of fall more into the blues than the greens. This one is Chivalry. It is one of our favorites. It's new. It's part of the Noble Knights set, so it goes with another skein called Heavy Metal. And then this is Impressions, which, Jessica, this is the one that you have in your shawl pattern that you had. And then this one is Siren. It's a kind of a mix of blues, teals, yellows. It is gorgeous. What would be a good contrast with an olive or a dark green? Julie, so many. We do a lot of purples, so I'll show you some purples that we have as well. I feel like, oh, I do have more teals. I was like, I have more teals. We have tons of colorways. This one's water, and this is from our elemental set. So we have earth, wind, or earth, fire, and air as well. And big blue wet thing, yes, we have that one too. Where'd that one go? Here it is. We were just talking on our live last night that a few years ago we did a live and it was someone said, "Can you hold up all your purple options?" And then I realized, like, oh, I don't have a lot of purple options. And now we have a ton of purple options. And so this coming year, I'm working on my orange options. But teals and blues, we're good. So we've got a ton. All right. Do you have sweater patterns using your yarn? Right now we have a crochet sweater pattern that's up by Britt Garber of Not Bad Brit. Uh, we have a few designers that we're hoping to do knit sweaters as well. We do knit and crochet patterns that we work with independent designers. A few of them are doing classes here on the Knit Happy Summit. I hope you, if they haven't already happened, I hope you go to them and enjoy them. I know the designers that are teaching them are absolutely fabulous. Um, and so that's the sweater patterns that we have right now up on our website. So, all right. I'm looking. Someone said that's gorgeous, shivery. Purples that we have, and then I'll explain the dye process. The purples, you know, I'll get them. There's a lot. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing some. Trying. Someone had asked for some good contrast for dark green. I love this one. This is Bayberry. It kind of falls. It has some really pretty plummy purples on there, as well as some garnet colors and greens. And then here is just some of our purples that we have. I also have a lighter one that I just thought about, razzleberry, and then kind of a purple pink orchid. Hold on, gotta hold them all. What reds do you have that do not lean towards orange or warm tones? I think ruby is what we have right now for those types of reds. Um, yes, there ruby is the one that is the most blue toned. So these are just some of the purples. We have Juliet over here, then Incantations, and then this one is Zero Gravity. Then there's Peruvian Butterfly, Fanny Price from our Jane Austen set, Merlot, Celeste, and but wait, there's more. Um, we have Lavender Macaroon and Orchid. So this is I'll hold up a really purple so you can see. This is like a fuchsia color. Do you remember all these names, Vanessa? I talk about them all the time, and I'm constantly having to go through the names. So I don't know. They're all branded in my head. Um, I'm heart failure with all these choices. No. Okay, this one's so pretty. I love this one. This is Dreamweaver. And this is like blue, gray, purple, some greens. This would be another really pretty one to contrast with some greens, just because the green is just barely there. I'll pull out a dark green for you so you can kind of see. This one is Echo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, wow, too, when I held it up. Sometimes I shock myself. I love Echo, and this is again Dreamweaver. So pretty. And then I know I know I have more. And then here's another green. It's not dark green. This is Eleanor. And they also just look so pretty with that. Some of these that I've been holding up are part of our Jane Austen set. I don't know if I said that earlier, so I thought I would say it. Oops, say it. And then also, I love variegated yarns because they're just so much fun. And so this one's Macbeth's Witches. This is one of my favorites. So variegated and fun. And then Haiku. Oh, wait, that's Prickly Pear. Different one. This one's kind of like a pink purple hybrid. And this one was in a set with, I think you can still get it. It's the poetry set. These two were made to be worked with together. So, and I have a shawl pattern. This is the Beckley Creek shawl. This one's by Sana of Woolen Weird, and that's haiku. So, whoops, pulling up my headphones. With this one, that's this one, with our black solid black jeans. Um, is it possible that you're having too much fun? I love doing this stuff, and I'm also just like, let's look at yarn, guys. Just I see a lot of colorwork yoke sweaters in my future with these combos. Yes. Are any of your bases non-superwash? Carla, we do have some non-superwash bases we're trying. You can find them on our website. There's a link drop down that says non-superwash, and they are there. I don't have any yarns right now that are for assigned pooling or planned pooling, except for Hollyberry would probably work. There are a few that could work in a pinch if they have longer pools. This one this is a pair of socks that I made out of Hollyberry. And I'll open it up so you can see. Ooh, do you have a variegated that is reminiscent of a stained glass in a cathedral? I want to make a cathedral cardigan. And I just can't seem to find the right skeins. Oh, probably. The camera keeps focusing on my face, and I'm like, no. That's what I was thinking, Kyra. Yarn Fairies. Um, Yarn Fairies is probably the one. It goes with just about everything. And because it has so many colors, it works up beautifully. Bayberry would work as well. What sizes are you showing? They look so thin on camera. So we have everything online from fingering weight, which is what I have now, to a little lace weight in a Surrey alpaca and silk blend. And then sport, DK, worsted, and bulky. So we have everything. I just want everyone to be able to make whatever they need to make. Uh, how does it work up? Example stripes. So also on our website, if you see something, you can go to so you'd go to badsheepyarn.com, you'd look for yarn fairies. We have knit and crochet swatches of everything, especially the variegated yarns. Not quite so much of our solids because you kind of know what you're going to get with those. But the variegated yarns, especially because when you knit them and you crochet them, they turn out very differently. So we have knit and crochet swatches of everything. You just scroll through the photos. I don't have them here with me at my house, but they are on our website. So, which I love that you do that. I love to do it for people. I have found that it has been well worth my time and effort to do the knit and crochet swatches, especially with the yarn that I like to make, which is these variegated ones where you just don't really know what's going to happen, which I love. I love the adventure and the mystery of it, but I know that that's not for everyone. So it has been well worth it for us to do that. I like the two light purples. Can you show those again? Yes. I think these are the ones you were talking about. Oops, I dropped things. This is Lavender Macaron and Celeste. So, can I come hang out with you? Of course, Sue. Let's hang out. That's what I love about the variegated. Me too.
Question.
Yes.
How about the one where you put the dark green with it and it was just like a wow, the variegated? What were those two, please?
Yes. Those were Bayberry and Echo. Let me try and find my. Oh, there it is. Bayberry. And I'll hold them up. Is that it? Did I remember? I think so. Okay. Someone was asking about the dye process, and then I totally I was like, yeah, sure. Oh, it was Dreamweaver. Thank you. There we go. Someone had asked about the dye process, and I totally blazed past it, but I love talking about it. It's wildly different between this and this. There's always something in dyeing that you need just from the get-go, and one is, at least when you're using the acid wash dyes like we do, you need water and you need heat and you need an acid. So the acids that you can use are just things like vinegar. One time in a pinch, I used apple cider vinegar. What we use in our studio is powdered citric acid, so it looks like sugar. It's food grade. It's scentless. So, and then you need heat because you need to, and you need water, obviously, because if you put dye on dry yarn, nothing's going to happen. So, with ones like these, are we asking, hold on, I'm going into the deep dive of like, let's go into technicalities here. But are we wanting to know like our day-to-day in the dye studio? Because I can answer that too. Or are you like, yes, Marcy, go on your TED Talk. Go girl, go. I need someone to reel me in. I want the TED Talk, to be honest. All right. So, okay, now I have to start over. TED Talk. Oh, Kyra says, in your defense, your TED Talks are the best. Thanks. Okay, so with the dye process, everything needs water, everything needs to be soaked. And we have kind of in our studio found ways to do it quickly and in large amounts, and to make it where everything turns out evenly. That's our goal kind of when we come in. So a lot of that depends on your water level. So with ones like these, I'm going to want a higher water level with the solids because my goal is to get things as evenly saturated as possible. So before I even put the yarn in the pan, it already has a high water level and dye. And so with something like a solid, to get a really nice even tone, you're going to want a lot of area for the dye to go, because what happens with dye is it's made to find these protein fibers and attach if given the right elements, which is like water, acid, heat. So with something like this, I'm starting with cold water. So I have one of those attachment forms out. The other thing I haven't done yet is I haven't added citric acid yet. So the heat and the citric acid are like, let's consider them like my bonding agents. So I have my dye in there. I have a ton of water. And with wool, it's a lot like hair. And when it gets wet, it clings to itself. It sticks together. And anywhere it sticks together, the dye cannot go through. So what you're going to do when you're making something like this, whether you're doing it in a big tub or you're doing it in what we use, which are these like, restaurant style casserole pans, because we can put them in our ovens. We have these big, huge Subway bread ovens that we use. Yeah, it's like cooking spaghetti. But the other thing that you need when you're making something like this, if you want a lot and a really nice even tone, is you need it to be soaked and you need it to have movement. So if I just laid this down in the water, the dye would just stick right to where I laid it. But because I haven't added the bonding agents of heat and citric acid yet, I can keep moving and keep moving it. And the more that I move it, the more, because it's stuck together, the more open spaces the wool is being opened up to absorb dye. And so I always think about water and water levels as more pathways for the dye to go. So if I want something that is really saturated, really even, I'm going to expose more areas for the dye to go. So to do that, you're giving it a lot of movement. You're spinning it, you're twisting it inside out, you're moving all the fibers in and out. You're doing all of these things to open up more spaces that weren't exposed to the dye, because as soon as it got wet, it stuck together. So that's that. And then once you have a nice even application, you add your bonding agents, you add your citric acid, and you add your heat. And sometimes even those can change the color. We have ones, Orchid is one of them, this colorway. I'm on a roll. I'm hardly breathing over here. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. See, you guys said TED Talk, and I'm like, let's go. This is Orchid. When you have it in the pan, pre-citric acid or vinegar, whatever you use, as soon as you add that next like bonding agent, it changes the color sometimes. And so then you have to keep doing your movement and you have to keep exposing more areas for that acid to get and the pH, that different pH in the water to get. Because if you don't do it, if you just add your acid and then you move on with your life, then you're going to add the other thing, which is heat, and everything's just going to stick where it is. So it's another thing where you're adding more movement and you're opening more places and you're getting more spots for the dye to go. So that's one there. Solids they look like they're easy. They are probably one of the hardest things to make because it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of knowledge and you really have to watch what you're doing. It's really when we bring people in and we train them, we start them on solids because it's one of the hardest concepts to learn. Love that Orchid. What other color did you put with it? I put several with it. It goes with quite a bit. One of the ones that I really like with it is our Yarn Fairies. This was a colorway that we did for us on our 10-year anniversary. Just for ourselves, it's like a mashup of all our colorways. It's fun. Are all colors available in all weights? They should be, unless they're very, very old and we haven't updated them yet. Then they won't. They'll still have all the weights, but they won't have minis, silk, or suri. But most of them are there. Oh, did you have to Task College course to learn all this or apprenticeship? How did you learn to dye? Trial and error. I actually, that's kind of a joke, but kind of not. I actually started dyeing yarn for Shandy of Expression Fiber Arts. She's another hand-dyed yarn seller on the internet. And I was at my knit night that I had been going to for a while. She lived in the same town as I did. I love her too. Someone said, I want to be reincarnated as you. Bless you. Just, oh man. I started dyeing yarn for Shandy, and in my knit night, I had no idea who she was. In my knit night, she had posted in our Facebook group. She and I had kind of become friends there. And in our Facebook group for our very little circle, she had said, I'm looking for someone to help dye yarn. And I was like, no. But then every single person in our yarn group was like, Marcy, you should do it. Marcy, you should do it. They kept tagging me in this post. And so I told her, I said, well, I'll try it. And she said, I'll train you. You can do it at home with your kids. And I had 2 small children. They were toddlers. We had twins. And so I dyed yarn for her and I ended up absolutely loving it. And everyone's asking, is she from Alaska? She was, and that's where we met. And so, it turned out like we knew tons of people we knew tons of the same people. We had no idea. We had just met as adults and it was like, huh. And now she's still like a good friend, a good mentor. We still love each other quite a bit. And so I was dyeing for her, yarn for her. And then when they moved, we started our own business, and I quickly started to change just kind of some of the tools I was using and trying to learn new skills and techniques. I had started dyeing yarn for the yarn shop in town, and they were really awesome to work with and kind of would try and tell me like, oh, you should try this, or you should try dyeing yarn this way or dyeing yarn that way. And just that little, probably like 2 years working for them and stocking yarn for them, it taught me a lot about naming, technique, and it because they would ask me for things and kind of, you know, make suggestions about what I should do or try. It gave me a lot of space to experiment and learn and grow about what I liked and what I like to make. And I also just watched a ton of YouTube videos, which there weren't a lot then when like 10 years ago when I started, there were not a lot. But any that were out there, I would find them and watch them and learn. And there were several people that were really instrumental in just the free education that they were putting out there with yarn dyeing. One gal is Chemnitz. She still has a YouTube channel. It's amazing. She is absolutely fabulous, and I would love to meet her someday because she helped me a lot working through a lot of things. Um, and then another gal that is not in business anymore, she's been out of business for a long time, but she had said something when it came to building colorways. She would dye yarn in her shed outside and video the whole process. And she said something one time that completely changed how I viewed color. And she would add pops of yellow to things, and she would say, a, a, a colorway or a skein of yarn is really pretty and has a lot of color, but as soon as you add something bright to it, it makes it come alive. And that has completely changed how I view color and how I started dyeing yarn, was starting to look at things, and instead of being like, these colors match, these colors go, I would start to look at it and say, what can I use to add a little bit of brightness here to make something go from, oh, that's nice, to being like, oh, this has a personality now, or this really, oh, that really looks good now. And so that was a huge shift in just not just how I dyed yarn from a technical standpoint, but how I viewed color, especially when it came to all the variegated yarns and getting outside of my own comfort zone when it came to color. So, and I'm just going off and everyone's over here asking for pairings. So let me check out some of these chats. Ooh, my 5-year-old granddaughter says her favorite color is rainbow. What do you suggest? We have a colorway called Rainbows and Airwaves, and I have made myself clothes, whole entire cardigan out of it. One of my friends made her daughter a whole dress out of it. A lot of people have used it for knits, not only for themselves, but for their children. And I think the red that we have right now, this one's a little muted. Sometimes for our pairing nights, I bring things that are maybe like slightly imperfect or something. But this is Rainbows and Airwaves. It works up so cool. I highly suggest going and looking at the swatch online. Have you made anything out of the element set, like all 4 together, not 1 or 2 on their own? I have not yet. I haven't yet. I would like to at some point. I can't wait to check out your website. Thank you. I just completed my Ooey Gooey cowl, and everyone at Knit Night last night loved it, and so many variegated yarns you've been holding up would be perfect for this project. Yes, they would. I had not intended to make a second one, but now I can't wait to buy yarns to make another one. Oh, yay. That looked like such a fun knit, the Ooey Gooey cowl. How do you come up with names for the colors of yarn? Sometimes we brainstorm them in the studio now. Sometimes I'm a little name dry. And another thing that we've been doing is on our Thursday nights, every once in a while, if I'm really stumped on one, I will bring it and say, what do I name this thing? And everyone will give suggestions and ideas, and that's always fun. I love having such a big pool of people coming in to give suggestions. It's it makes me think of things that I had never thought of before when you guys do that. And then some things I know for sure, like I feel it in my bones. There and there was one, I'm trying to think of ones where I just knew. And then there are some where I have done a lot of research on them. So we have one set, the Edgar Allan Poe set. I'm trying to see if I have it down here. Yep. This is the Edgar Allan Poe set. It came out in 2021. It's still available on our website. This one I had done a ton of research for. So this is Ulalume, William Wilson, and Nevermore, all poems of his. And so I read through a lot of poems to try and find the ones that were just right. And then the other ones I held up, haiku, echo, those are all types of poetry. And there was another one, ballad. So I did a ton of research there to try and remember, like what the names were. Jane Austen sets, anything that we do that's inspired off of something very specific. Usually I do a lot of research on the names before I name them. And then sometimes we have ones where we just pick a word and it's like that word feels right. That word feels right. So, where do you source your wool? We get our wool from a company that sources most of their wool from Peru. So, and I say most of their wool because they have tons of other fibers that they source from other things, but all of their superwash merino wool, which is what ours is, comes from Peru.
There was a question for ocean colors for
Oh,
fun in the Navy.
okie dokie. Ocean colors. I'm gonna go with Siren. And then how many are you wanting? There's Siren, and then this is Velvet, which is a really dark navy blue. You could pair water with it. The other ones that we have are, if you're wanting to do kind of lighter ocean. There is ones like these. This is Razzleberry and this is Sea Glass. And then there's this other one, Blue Bonnet. There are some light colors, and you could put those with, see if I can find it, Impressions or Big Blue Wet Thing and Big Blue Wet Thing. And then you can have kind of a fun, I know Stephen West has some stuff going around we have a lot of members on our group that love making his patterns. Something like this would work really fun, although I would probably flip-flop these so you have a little bit, and then maybe put this for his over there, something like that. But anyways, you always got to be like, how would I lay that out? But this one is Impressions, and then Razzleberry right next to it. Then there's Big Blue Wet Thing and Sea Glass, and then this is Blue Bonnet. Do the dark colors take a lot more dye, or do the dyes for darker colors just more concentrated? Kind of both. It depends on the dye and what you're wanting to do. It just depends on what you want to do. Some of the dyes are really, really saturated and pigmented. Those generally I have found don't stick well. Those are the ones where you're going to have a lot more bleeding in your afterwards. And it's kind of one of those things where no matter what we do, if we cook that thing for hours and hours and everything else, it just will because they're so pigmented. But there are some other ones like Black Jeans is one. It's a solid colorway and it's not, come on, just focus. It's not just a straight solid dye. It's actually a mix of things to get that black color. And so because it's a mix, there are a couple other different things, but really not a lot of dye used to get it like this. So yeah, it just depends, different ones. I always wanted to add Nevermore and Raven to that set because the names, yes. Just my Poe obsessed heart. I love that set. So I love all your tangents. I've been called a squirrel. I've been perusing your website. How often do flopsies go on sale? We update them, so there should be some up on the website right now, I think. Um, we usually just update them when we have time. So we were doing big, huge Flopsy sales, but that broke the internet almost every time, and they would sell out within minutes. I think one year I had listed over 700 skeins of yarn, and they were gone within 7 minutes. It was insane. So we try and control the madness a little bit just by kind of dropping them when we have them. We have them in little mystery bundles just for the ease and so that our staff can kind of do it themselves and I don't need to come in and take pictures with every single skein. And we kind of give a little bit of direction as to what you're getting, but they're just kind of our fun little mysteries.
For
Do you
those
have?
familiar, what are the flopsies?
Oh, thank you. My brain said, should I explain that? And then I was like, move, and then I moved on. The flopsies are our clearance yarn, so it's something usually where we've messed up a little bit, or maybe the dye split in a weird way. So a lot of our speckled yarn, the dye is added in powder form. So when that happens, there's lots of little granules of different colors, and sometimes that works really great for speckled yarn, and sometimes it can go take a wild hair and you can get like a really big like red chunk and something that you really just want to be yellow. So sometimes people say that it looks like usually if you get a skein of hand dyed yarn and you say, weird, it looks like there's like a marker swipe on here. It's probably not a marker, and by probably not, I mean at least for us, 1,000% not a marker. It's where the dye has split. So if it's on a solid, it's like a tiny little granule that didn't dissolve all the way, but just in the process of making a solid, it dissolved, but it made a color that was not right. And almost always, because a lot of dyes are made like ink, there's blue, yellow, red, and those are the main splits that you'll see. And so it looks like a pen mark. So that's fun. But anyways, flopsies are something where that has happened. And so we'll look at it and we'll say it either doesn't look like online, or maybe this is in a really light solid and someone can work around it. But if you're like paying full price for it, that would be a little disappointing. Or if it's something where we forgot one of the steps, like if you don't add an acid to the water, things just look off. So not always bad, just not what you wanted them to look like. So that's what our flopsies are. There are one-offs. A lot of them are test batches that I do if I'm trying to make new colorways for us and something just wasn't quite right. We'll put those in the flopsy sale. We'll put all kinds of stuff in there. Sometimes you'll find a discontinued colorway in there. It's just always a fun little surprise. Okay. Oh, I've fallen hard for Garnet and the Birthstones line, but I've already blown my yarn budget for the year. Oh no. Garnet is super pretty.
Are those the birthstone yarns? Are those staying or are those limited edition?
So we weren't quite sure yet. What we are going to do is next year we're going to be doing birth flowers. But when you have 12 colorways and we're trying to keep them on stock, that's a lot of shelf space. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be making our new, so like January, the birth flowers carnations. So we'll make a January birth flower color, and that January garnet will be available, and then once January's over, we'll swap them out. So garnet will go, the flowers will stay. And I know I have some people on here that will hear that and be like, no, this stays between us, guys.
That's it. Top
I
secret
always
to
spill
stay.
the beans somewhere. I know.
Just you, me, and 186 people on
Yeah, no
here
big
on
deal.
YouTube. It's all right. We'll keep it quiet.
It's okay. I would have had to say it within the next month at some point. But yeah, they'll be pretty. We always try. Kyra says, thanks for the beans ahead of time. Me, my husband, and my mortgage have to make some decisions. It's we're trying to do as best we can to give people a solid year if they like their birthstone or something to get what they want. So the garnet has been out since January, and so it's stuff like that where it's like we're giving a good amount of time for people and just to kind of get something that works and that they love. So, ooh, daffodil color for the flowers. Yes. Can you do a comparison of Merlot and Garnet? Can a comparison of Merlot and Garnet be done on your website? I don't have one for the website, but I can do one right here, right now.
Oh, awesome.
If I can find where my Merlot skin went. There it is. Sometimes when I'm doing these pairings, it goes so fast that I try really hard to put things away, but I don't always make that work. And so I love myself and I hate myself whenever I do that. So this is Merlot and this is Garnet. So Garnet is a little more pinky red and Merlot is definitely a purple. Um,
Yes, I agree with Joyce. Joyce says, Marcy, you are a delight, and this has
oh,
been so wonderful.
oh, yay. Uh, um, okay, yay. I'm looking and I'm like, wait, do I have one more? I'll just make my boyfriend get some garnet for either Christmas or my birthday. There you go. Oh, so nice to end my day smiling. Yay! This has been a fun hour. Thank you so much. This is great because I have a hard time after an hour being like, we're done now. So this time has flown. It's been fun. Before you go, can you quickly hold up that gorgeous variegated yarn in greens and whites, etc., behind you on the shelf? This one? I'm trying to think about which one.
I see a few candidates.
I know. I'm like, which one? So it could be this one. This is from our Butterflies and Moths collection. This one could have been in the someone that had wanted to do the oceans. Oh, up on the shelf. Okay. This one is Luna Moth. Up on the shelf. Are we talking about these? These are our tweeds.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. These are our tweeds. We come out with new tweed colorways. They have their merino wool and they have fun little dongle neps in there. So you get that very scholarly look. We are almost done with these. We always do them until supplies last. So I would hurry up with that if you want that one. Because I think we were kind of talking like our supplies are almost out. So, but this one is called oh gosh, I forgot what this one is called. It's first time tonight.
Marcy.
Dang it, it spoiled me. It's from our Moreland tweed set. You can find it online. It's
That Dark
you'll see it.
Academia, Carisis.
No, that one is this one.
Uh,
So here they are side by side. This is something to do with Oxfordshire. That's this one. That's this one. This is Dark Academia. And we'll say Macadamia every time. This one is Midnight Manor. And then this is Misty Moor. And this is the set. And then you can get, because we had a lot of people asking for it last year, this is Vanilla Bean, which is just the bare base. So that you can make an Afghan and then you use this in between and yeah. So
and we have I don't remember if it was bingo or just a general giveaway off the top of my head for the Noble Knights,
oh, yes.
which I'll be posting about after we get off the call.
This set.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab a picture. Hold it up.
Oh.
I know I have pictures from you, but from the Zoom is good.
Sure.
Yeah, so this has been really, really wonderful. Those who are enjoying Marcy's pairings, she does a live, is it I think every Thursday evening?
hmm
So you can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, I think you said. Did I miss any places?
Yes, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. We're on all of those every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. So, yeah.
Perfect. So you can join Marcy next week and get more pairings. It has been such a joy to have you here with us for this live and to have you as our sponsor. And I can't wait to share more of the goodies and details that we have planned for everyone. So thank you
Yay.
everyone for joining us. This has been a blast. And if you have this replay is on YouTube, so if you missed the beginning, you can head straight over to YouTube and you should be able to watch the replay right away. But it will be added to our schedule page by tomorrow, as soon as Zoom and Vimeo and all the things cooperate to let me do that. The best way to navigate the summit is the schedule page and at happysummit.com/schedule. And if you have the upgrade to the Happy Knitters Toolkit, then we'll be together for a stitch session at 7 o'clock tonight. If you haven't grabbed the upgrade yet, please head to knithappysummit.com/upgrade. And if you do that by 6, then you should get the link to join us. And that'll also be in your classroom for the upgrade. So thank you all so much. And I'll put that link in the chat one more time. So it's 10% off at badsheepyarn.com, and that code is knithappybsy, like bad sheep yarn.
Mhm.
So you can get a little discount and get some beautiful, colorful yarn.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. This has been really fun. And thank you, Jessica, for letting me come. And I do want to say I am so sorry about missing yesterday to everyone that was expecting it. There was a time glitch in our brain, so I apologize. But this was
Time
great.
zone troubles are
Yeah.
a common thing in my world. So.
Oh.
Well, thanks, everyone. And thank you so much, Marcy, for being here. We appreciate you so much. We can't wait to knit with your yarn.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. See you guys later.